What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. One of the craziest reveals earlier this year at San Diego Comic-Con was the What If animated series for Marvel Phase 4, set to be a one-to-one analog for the entirety of the Infinity Saga. 23 movies, 23 animated episodes. What's more, it's set to retain most of the original actors to reprise their roles doing the voiceovers, making it 100% authentic to the MCU. Now, for the new and young Marvel fan alike whose obsession with the genre begins squarely with the movies, this will offer a fresh look at events that theoretically could have altered the entire course of the MCU. But for us old Marvel heads, What If is a series steeped in tradition, a fan favorite, and quite well known for being prophetic and foreshadowing what comes down the road in comics. In classic What If fashion today, we're going to use a simple process of elimination to forecast exactly what's going to happen in that first Spider-Man Homecoming episode. It's pretty easy to see from the original series which one they're going to choose, although that's not as easy to say for other series. Spider-Man indeed is completely foreshadowed. We're going to break the whole thing down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff, including copies of the limited edition box set for the Infinity Saga. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, I made the claim just moments ago that the What If series was sort of known as being prophetic, that something that would show up as a title or a premise in an original What If form would then play out during main continuity. As you can see from this title here, from the original run, what if the Hulk had the brain of Bruce Banner? Soon he would become Doc Green or Professor Hulk in the comics. Same goes for what if Jane Foster had found the hammer of Thor? Later in continuity, she actually would become Lady Thor. And in both instances of these titles, the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't have to wait for a What If animated series, as we've already gotten Professor Hulk and we'll get Lady Thor in the next Thor Love and Thunder. Now, in the case of Spider-Man, he actually kicked off the entire What If series, but the first title doesn't quite make sense for the MCU. What if Spider-Man had joined the Fantastic Four? And while that team has yet to be introduced, just a side note to reiterate my point, Spider-Man did eventually join the Fantastic Four, both the new Fantastic Four team and Future Foundation. Again, a lot of these original premises playing out in main continuity. Now, when it comes to comic book precedent, the original What If run, and honestly the main motivation behind doing this video, was over the first 47 issues of What If during the original Volume 1 run. Spider-Man comprised 5 of those issues. That's over 10%. And of those 5, only one really fits the bill for fitting the MCU. As I said, the first one that showed up was in issue 1, What If Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four, but we don't yet have a Fantastic Four in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He then showed up again in number 19, What If Spider-Man had never become a crime fighter. Number 30, What If Spider-Man's clone had lived, but we don't yet have a Spider-Man clone in the MCU either. Then number 46, What If Uncle Ben had lived and Aunt May had died? But again, Uncle Ben hasn't been introduced into the MCU formally, just a couple of Easter eggs here and there, leaving only one title out of 5 issues, again comprising more than 10% of the original What If series, that actually fits the bill for the MCU quite nicely. What if someone else besides Spider-Man had been bitten by the radioactive spider? And of the 3 people that get bitten in that issue, 2 of them are squarely in the MCU after being heavily featured during Spider-Man Far From Home, both Flash Thompson and Betty Brant. Now, while we don't have the third, that would be J. Jonah Jameson's son, the astronaut, we do have J. Jonah Jameson courtesy of Spider-Man Far From Home as well, now in the MCU. Coincidentally, everything you need to play this through. Even that said, I don't think you need to give J. Jonah Jameson's son the power of Spider-Man. It wouldn't be that interesting for the episode. We also don't know how long these episodes are going to be. Maybe you don't need to examine 3 people getting it. Maybe a half-hour episode could easily be taken up by just Flash Thompson. It's going to be interesting to see if they choose to go with this. I will, however, say if you were going to change out that character, one of the obvious choices would be Aunt May. An actor of Marissa Tomei's ilk could easily carry a half-hour, an hour-long episode, or even Ned or Zendaya's character MJ for their relationship and proximity with Peter Parker, meaning you could keep Tom Holland as a point man or straight man in the episode, just to reiterate how weird the What If series is. Now, this only pertains to the one-to-one analog for the Homecoming Homecoming movie particularly, Tom Holland's Spider-Man was in a lot more movies than just that one, and for something like Civil War, you could easily see what they could choose to do. The obvious first thing that comes to mind being, what if Spider-Man had joined Captain America's team? And you could literally do this all day, pun intended. That's why the What If series became so popular in the first place, allowing storytellers and even the artists to explore things that maybe didn't fit main continuity, or narratively the stories had already gone to other places. And for readers, that's an awesome chance to get to explore these things without real consequences for what's happening to the stories that they already know and love, the characters they already know and love. Some major changes, huge switches, don't mean major changes to the original continuity. I'm wondering if Marvel Studios and the animators will either use some of the original source material to pay homage and harken back to some of this stuff, knowing that some old comic heads like me comprise a big majority of their viewing audience and would want to see some of this come to life, or if they'll choose to embrace the spirit of What If and explore their own ideas as it pertains to the MCU. You also got to remember, building on the main continuity back when the original 77 run was released, things hadn't progressed that far, and you have to wonder if you had gone back and told the writers and the artists just how far and crazy Marvel would go, how many alternate Earths and timelines there would be, what would happen to different versions of the characters, eventually how many Spider-Mans and Spider-Women would be in the MCU, if they would have even bothered with this What If series anyway, considering it all was going to be done. That's what I also wonder in the same situation with these animators. They say What If now to do an animated series, and considering the very first run of these episodes won't come out till 2021, you have to think about what Marvel Studios may do over the next 10 years. You can't be working on the premise for a What If episode and then having it come to fruition 2 or 3 years later in the MCU. Or can you? And that's my final thought about this animated series. Where the issues in the comics used to do the same thing, you can't help but wonder if some of these key concept artists over at Marvel Studios can use this animating ground as a test for some of the wilder ideas that they have for the MCU. Now, undoubtedly, they wanted to play it traditionally and close to the vest, taking the Marvel and comic genre as a whole and steeping it in realism. And that's one of the main reasons that the Infinity Saga and the Marvel Cinematic Universe has become as popular as it has, taking something as fantastic and sort of niche like comics and making it very mainstream. But you've got to wonder, as they start to expand into the Marvel cosmic universe, as you pick up more characters like Korg and Meek, a silly talking rock man with a New Zealand accent and a blob alien monster, it's harder and harder to take these fantastic ideas and make them more and more realistic. And something like the What If animated series is going to allow them to do just that, be outside of the confines of realism and what's allowed in live action. But there's a danger in that, and let me explain. If you just want animated Marvel content, there's a ton of it. Actually, there's a ton of it on Disney Plus. They've sort of consolidated a majority of it for you. Avengers cartoons, Spider-Man cartoons, X-Men cartoons. There is a ton of animated Marvel content, but what is going to separate this animated series from that and make it MCU? Surely not just the voice of the actors and the animated style, but rather retain that intrinsic quality of storytelling and, like I said, steeped realism. Now you're going to find yourself in an animated universe where realism doesn't count as much as what you see during a live action production, and that's where my worry is, that hopefully they could find a way to reconcile the two so that this still feels like the MCU live action that we're used to and retains as much quality of that so that it fits seamlessly into pseudo-canon, but doesn't get too carried away with the stories or the characters that it feels a lot like the rest of the cartoons. And that's going to be their biggest trick, is making sure that they plant it somewhere in the middle. Guys, you let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. A, the What If series as a whole, are you excited for that? It's something different. Obviously, they would never be able to do it if they didn't have Disney Plus. B, are you excited for specific episodes, and or because this isn't canon, do you not care as much? Obviously, nothing that happens in these episodes will for sure happen in the MCU or have any bearing on its events. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments specifically about all of this, and then quickly let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which now is at 550,000 subscribers. If you missed the announcement for the previous winners at the 500K mark, that was last week on a video called New Phase 5 Dates released, we announced 2 winners at the 500k mark. If you want to be entered to win the next PlayStation at the 550 or the one after that at the 650 mark, or either of the Infinity Saga limited edition box sets, we've got our hands on 2 here at the channel. We'll be giving away those throughout the holiday season, and the next of which at the 600,000 subscriber mark. All you have to do to be entered to win, and all the same rules apply for all our giveaways. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell with notifications turned on, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced via videos at the end of said videos, and will usually include said announcement in the title. My name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. Guys, have a great holiday season. Be safe out there. Thanks for checking out the channel, and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.